What's up, everybody? So, funny thing I heard on the news today, people in the U.S. are choosing not to have kids as much. Like, you're starting to hear people not want to have kids as much. Yeah, man. Finally, people using their noggins? Holy shit. Now, unfortunately, unfortunately, not everyone's going to, go through with it. There'll always be reproducing no matter what, but just shocked to even hear some people starting to get some kind of knowledge. I mean, you got to be out of your mind to want to have kids today, man. I don't care if you're doing good in life. I don't care if you're doing bad in life, like, you don't have a career going or whatever. You're a real fool for wanting to have a kid. The least you can do is at least have a good career job to have a kid. But even though, good job or no job, I thought someone was out there. Good job or no job, I just don't want to have kids, period, man. I just don't feel it's worth it. Why do I want to bring another living thing to experience this bullshit? I say to myself, bad enough I'm here to experience it. Bad enough we're all here to experience it. And let alone, now we got to have a kid, bring a kid so he or she can experience it. I mean, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how stupid we are, man. I could totally understand if life was actually a gift like they say, which of course isn't. But I can understand if life was good, worth living, and yeah, why not have kids? But what are you bringing a kid into this world, like just to suffer? That's how I look at it. You're just bringing a kid in here to suffer. And yes, I need a damn haircut, but I have to wait a week because I got something removed. I had like one of those skin tags. So I have to wait a week because it has to heal. So I can't get a haircut in the meantime, unfortunately. So I got to look like this for another week or so. But back to what I was saying, man. And what was I saying? I just totally forgot what I was going to say. Now, give me a moment, man. Ah, yes. Now I remember. I can understand if life was good, but what do you see in life that is so worth having a kid? Just so I could be a mom, so I could be a dad. I mean, I don't know what goes through people's minds, man. And I don't even care to know at this point. It's just so sickening. I mean, when I see people having kids, especially in today's world, I almost want to vomit. Nothing against a child. It's just, why did you have to bring that poor child into this bullshit, into this evil, corrupt nonsense? Oh, so he could get a good job or... That's the funny thing I always say too. They got your lives figured out before you're even born. If it's a boy, this is all right. This the parents be like this. This is the plan here. If we're having a boy, this is how we're gonna raise it. This is what he's gonna do in his life, without him even being aware yet. The parents already got it all figured out. Now, if it's vice versa, it's a girl. All right, so this is what Miss, Jennifer's gonna. This is what she's going to do in her life. She's going to go to a good medical school. She's going to be a doctor or a nurse or whatever. It's like we're already feeding what they're going to do before they're even aware of who the hell they are yet. That's the funniest part of it all. You don't even know how the child's going to be born. The child may be born autistic or, Down syndrome or something. Well, looks like those plans didn't work out well. And I don't wish that on anybody having kids. But I'm just saying, it's funny how we have their future planned out before they're even born. You don't know what the kid's going to be like when they're born. Nobody knows. That's another reason why I don't want to have kids, because I'm afraid it may come out a certain way. And that's just a risk. That's just a risk that can happen to anybody, and I don't wish that on anybody, especially the poor kid. I don't want the poor kid to go through that, but I don't got to worry about that ever happening because I'm the smart person not doing it, period. So there is no risk because I'm not taking that risk. But that's just me. Call me weird, call me whatever the hell you like, but I don't care. That's just me, man. Not doing it. Bad enough I'm here, but I'm here now. I got to try and just make the best of it like we all got to try and do. But I ain't going to be stupid and bring another living thing here to suffer my dirty work, because that's all you're doing. You're just passing the headache on. Ugh, all these headaches and pains and migraines and pins and needles. Nope, now I'm going to pass it on to my son. Or, nope, now I'm going to pass it on to my daughter, whichever it is. Male, female, whatever. All right, now it's your turn to suffer the pain and misery, just like Poppy did. Papa, Mama. Oh boy, man, it's just, yeah, it's just cringy, very cringy, man, very cringy. I really, really hope people start smelling the coffee and just stop having kids, man. You hear it on the news, a lot of people are saying no to having kids. Good, I hope that trend becomes more and more. Whatever's here, let it be until it's all over. Instead of reproducing, bring in more. Let the system crash. Let the system finally come to an end. We're here. We got to live it, unfortunately. It is what it is, but let's prevent anything further on coming into this generation, because what is the point? Let the system starve. Just like the system lets us starve. If we don't have money for anything, we're going to starve. We're going to live in the streets. We ain't going to live in a house, an apartment, or, shelter, really. You're going to live in the streets. With no food, no nothing, wearing the same clothes every day, smelling like God only knows what. My heart truly breaks just thinking there's people right now living that life, unfortunately, that have no choice. And then you get assholes to be like, get a job, or you deadbeat, or this. But what about if you were in his shoes? You think people just want to become homeless? Life is just so unbearable, it happens. And it can happen to anybody. That's the scary thing, too. It can happen to anyone, me, anybody. And yet you got people being cruel, homeless people and shit. What if that was you? You wouldn't like people calling what you're calling that person, right? What if the tables were turned? This is why I say, let the system starve. Whatever's here, let it be the final. Once we die off, that's it. Now the system has nothing more to feed onto. But that's the thing. We keep being stupid. We keep reproducing. And the system just keeps going. The cylinder never stops. The fan just keeps spinning. The belt, whatever you want to call it, just keeps going. Because we keep feeding it more. We fed ourselves. We already fed our souls to the system. And now we're having a kid. And we're going to feed their souls into the system. And then eventually, same thing. They have a kid. And it just keeps going. Let it fucking collapse. Let it break down already, man. We're here, all right, let us be the last meal. Let us be the final meal for the stupid system. Bad enough we even have to be the final meal. But you get what I'm trying to say? Stop bringing more souls into this shit, man. It's just it's a soul trap, man. That's how I look at it. It's like a soul trap. It is a soul trap. Like, this is where I start to laugh, man. You say to someone, give me one good thing why life is so beautiful. And I just love to hear what people got to say. Oh, because you're going to one day find the right one for you and get married. Or one day you may go to a job you love doing. I mean, it's just stupid shit. Like people can't even give you a good value because there is nothing good here. Now, again, with that being said, I'm not just saying let's all quit. But what I am trying to say is stop reproducing more, man. That I am trying to drill in people's heads. And it's just, what do you see here that's so worth doing it, man? Just so you could be a father? He made fun of me saying I can't have a picture of a father. Well, let me show him now. Who cares what people think, man? I don't got to prove anything to impress anybody. I'm me. I always say this, man. I am who I am. I don't do this to please. I don't care if I impress people. I don't give two shits. I only care for myself. Well, you get what I mean? Like, I care about me. That's what I'm trying to say. I care about people, but I don't care what people think of me. That's what I'm trying to put that as. I'm not trying to sound like, a selfish person who only cares for myself. But what I'm trying to say is I don't care what people think about me. And, that's the thing. That no one really should. At the end of the day, none of this is going to matter. He was this, he was that. Well, now lights out. It's like it never happened, basically, I be me. I'm not going to try to pretend I'm somebody I'm not just to impress this guy or that person or whoever. If you like me for who I am, then that's what matters. If not, well, then see you later. I don't need you. That's it. That's how I look at it. And people today having kids, I really have no sympathy or respect for. Now, I'm not saying I hate you. I'm going to, yell at you. Well, you know what I mean. Maybe I might yell, but all kidding aside, man. Like, I don't know what goes. I have no respect. I have no I have no toleration for people today to have kids. I just don't. Maybe I can understand back then because life was a bit, life was always garbage, but things were cheaper. It wasn't as crazy, but crazy. It was always a dump. It's just something that should have never been to begin with, if you ask me, in my opinion. But now I really say to myself, you got to be out of your mind to want to have kids today. inflation, this costing this. And then that's the funny thing, these suicide prevention lines. We want to try to stop people from, going over the edge. Well, yeah, this is sure going to help. Just keep making everything more expensive. Keep making life more harder. Make, one job's not enough, 2 jobs ain't enough, 3, just make people work more. Make people pull their hair out of their skin. That's really going to lower the suicide rates. Yeah, that's really going to help. More like the other way around, people. You want to stop the suicide rates? Make life fucking livable. Make life, make life copable instead of uncopable. Is that a word? Sometimes I feel I just make up my own words, but seriously, man. Because you ain't fucking lowering the rates doing that, man. You're increasing the rates. Because that's just what's happening. You gotta be out of your mind, man. And it saddens me for people to go over the edge. It saddens me. It sickens me. It upsets me. I can understand why they do it. Because look how life is, man. There's just so many things, people feel trapped. People just say, you know what? I'm going to go one day anyway. What the hell's the point? To just live in all this stress, get old and have more problems. I'm just going to cut to the chase. And in a way, I really can't say I blame people for choosing that way. I don't recommend it, but I can't say I blame people because the truth is, we're all just living around to die anyway. And in the meantime, this is the shit we got to deal with until then. Stress, just unnecessary bullshit. All this meaningless bullshit to just one day be dead. I can't say I blame people for going over the edge. I hope whoever's watching these videos don't go over the edge. I'm trying not to go over the edge either. And did anyone ever hear Over the Hedge? It was a cartoon. Well, all kidding aside, people, man. I mean, it's just a sick world. And then you want to have kids and bring them into this shit? For what, man? Please do the world a favor by not having no more kids, man. The world's tired enough. Jesus, man. You want a kid? Get a dog. Get a cat. There's your kid. At least the dog don't got to worry about getting a job, going to school, doing all that bullshit, paying bills. There's your kid. And they have more love for you than an actual probably kid. Kids are mainly brats and spoiled. But to some degree, you could understand because they ain't asked for this. And now they got to be told what they should or shouldn't do, So in a way, it's like I understand their point of view. And the funniest thing of all is, we're the only living things that do these stupid things. We're the only living things that get married. We're the only living things that pay bills. We're the only living things that's got to get up every single day and participate somewhere you don't want to be. Just so you could say you're surviving, you're making money to survive. Do these birds do this shit? No, they just tweet in trees all damn day. That's their life. Simple, basic. Why can't we have simple, basic lives? It's crazy. We're the only living things that do these things. It's crazy. It's crazy when you really like just see the world for what it is. And that's another thing I actually want to say before I call it a night for the video. I've been getting these funny nostalgia videos where showing like the early 2000s of things, of how things seem more simpler, simpler times. And yes, to some degree, life in the early 2000s were better. But with that being said, it was still always shit. It's just when we were younger, we didn't see for what this all was. So we were basically fogged. We lived in the fog where we didn't see the whole picture. So yeah, life didn't feel so stressful then or as bad because we didn't know much. We were kids where certain things didn't matter yet, But people thinking too that back then was better. It was to some degree, but it's like people are forgetting the fact that life was always shit. The only difference is the shit just grows. But people swear back then was not shit at all. It was just perfectly beautiful to some degree, but there was still shit in that beauty. Really, man. It's just when you're a kid, and this even goes for me. When I was a kid too, same thing. I was blind. I didn't really see things for as much. But I with that being said, I always sensed something just wasn't right. But I ain't fully put my thoughts into it like I am now. Well, now it's already all right in front of me. It's nothing more to figure out. It's all figured out, But you get what I mean? Like when I was a kid, yeah, I felt like times were a bit better, easier, less stressful. But with that being said, those times were still garbage. It's just I didn't know. I didn't have the knowledge I had today then. So, I didn't have anxiety. So, things at the time felt a bit easier. And yes, things were a lot cheaper too, of course, compared to now. But I always sensed something just wasn't right. I always sensed it. I didn't exactly know 100%, but I always just felt it in me that just something seems very off about life. Like, something just makes my tail spin, or tingle. I think that's the way of saying it. Something just makes my tail tingle. I don't know how you say it, but you get what I'm trying to say, man. I always felt something was strange about life, but didn't really think about it deeply at the time. I just lived my child-free days, I guess you could call it, And that's the majority of people, That's why they say life was better back then. Life was better back then because you were younger. You didn't have the knowledge you have now, so you didn't know of what a shithole this all was too much then, or if not at all then, Now you see the whole picture, and then there you go. It's not that life was better. It's just now you're aware and you see for what it all is. But, yes, life was a bit more, functionable back then, copable back then, because things weren't such skyrocketing high prices like it is today. Eggs going up. It's crazy, man. I remember getting a haircut used to cost $10, $15. Then it went to $18. Then it went to 20 something dollars. Now I'm paying $40. What is it going to cost in another 10 years? $80, $100. Oh man, people, man, it's like that's the thing. This is what I want to live my life to. This is what I'm so excited to. And yet, on top of that, I'm going to have a kid so he could experience the inflation growing. So now I could tell my son or daughter, hey, when I was your age, this is how much I used to pay for a haircut. This is how much a slice of pizza used to cost. Or this is how much that used to cost. Now, you're paying this when I paid that. Is that what it's all about? Is that why people want to have kids? To say, oh, when I was a kid, this is how much I paid for this. But look now, Jeffrey, now you're paying triple of what I paid when I was your age. It's so fucking stupid, man. That's why I'm not having kids. I don't want no kids. Don't hate kids. Have nothing against kids. Just don't want them. Why do I want to put more stress on myself? And why do I want to put stress on them? Don't want to do it. You could say whatever you want about me. You can make fun of me. I don't give a shit, man. At the end of the day, I don't have to worry about it. Some people be like, you can always adopt a kid. Don't even want to do that either, to be honest with you. I just don't want that headache. I just don't want that headache. But yeah, I would do that before, of course, I'd have a kid. But I just don't want that headache on me, period. Oh, you're a terrible father, people say. How am I a terrible father? I didn't get myself involved. Now, if I had a kid, yeah, you have every right to say that if I don't want nothing to do with the kid. But I just don't. And that's why I'm not doing it. I'm not making that mistake. I'm not going to be a deadbeat father, have a kid, and just ditch him and friggin' abandon him. Yeah, then I'm a total piece of shit. But you can't say I'm that by not having a kid. You're doing nothing wrong. You didn't get yourself into a problem. That's the big problem with people. People get themselves into problems now that they regret, and now it's all too late. Why? Because you don't think clearly. People don't think. They just do it. It's just, I'll think about the consequences later. And later's too late, pal. Think about the picture clearly before you get yourself involved. That's the thing. People don't do that. That's why sometimes, and I'm not trying to sound like a terrible person, but I don't feel bad for certain people because they get themselves in that situation. When you're stupid and have no common sense, it serves you right, honestly. That I got to be straightly honest. I feel for people, but some people are just so stupid and get themselves into situations that was easily something they could have easily prevented, that they just were too stupid. And, now you look at them and you be like, oh, well, pal, deal with it now, Anyway, guys, it is starting to get dark, as you can see. But I am going to wrap it up for now. Love you all, man. And all kidding aside, man, it really would be nice if we could just stop reproducing, man. Turn that reproducing switch off, man. Stop feeding the system. I always say this, man, and it's something I'm always going to keep saying time to time. I will always make videos talking about these topics. I don't care how many times. It's just something I'm going to always do. Like it or not, it's what I do. It's just got to be said a million times. Stop feeding the system. The system don't care for us. If we don't comply, we're going to starve. So let them starve. Let us be the final meal, unfortunately. Bad enough we even got to be the meal. But don't have another kid so he could be the meal or she could be the meal, and then it just keeps going. That's the system. The system just keeps digesting more and more food, which is us. Yummy. Ooh, kids. Growing up, careers. Yummy. Oh, now they're going to have kids. Man, I'm never starving. The system be like, I'm never starving. I'm always eating good by eating us assholes. That's just what it is. Stop doing that, man. Let it all collapse one day. Who cares what happens once it collapses? Because by then, we're all going to be dead anyway. We're here. While we're here, it is what it is. But once we all expire, let the fucking system expire too. Life goes on when we're gone. Let's let that not continue. Let this whole shit fucking be over. Think about it. We're only here for a certain amount of years. The world's been here for billions and billions of years. Let this all come to an end. Now, I'm not saying the world itself will come to an end. The world will still be here, probably be just all nature, which is when the world was better off, when it was just animals honestly living. But, Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now, guys. Call it a night for now. Love you all, man. Peace out. And really, man, if you're thinking about having kids, really think deep into that and say to yourself, is this the world you really want to bring them? Mass shootings, crimes. I mean, this is just something that's always been, but now it's just getting more and more crazy. Inflation. I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say there, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Peace out. Love you all, guys, and have a good night.
We are now at DEFCON 5. Security